Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
My parent corporation, Paramount, paid Donald Trump a $16 million settlement over his 60 Minutes lawsuit. As someone who has always been a proud employee of this network, I am offended. And I don't know if anything will ever repair my trust in this company. But just taking a stab at it, I'd say $16 million would help. This settlement. Oh, hey, everybody. We got a great show for you tonight. Senator Adam Schiff was my guest. We harmonized on 7 Bridges Road. What a voice. I cried. But before we start the show, I want to let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And... yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say...
my mom and dad always taught me if you can't say anything nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. So I won't be discussing the demise of The Late Show on CBS. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, we will deal with today's news, the real news, the whole news, and nothing but news. James Golden, Bo Snerdley with you here. The fastest hour in American media is underway. There is a headline today in the Daily BS. The headline reads, Trump, Epstein, supposed birthday letter reporter connected to Hillary-funded fusion GPS Russia hoax. That's according to a report. As you all know by now, the Wall Street Journal, in their attempt to, I guess, run a hit piece on Donald Trump, released a report that says that Donald Trump penned a bawdy letter for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday party. Democrats are salivating over this stuff going all over the place. The journal's sensationalized account claimed the letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, as bawdy, like others in the album that they have. It's an album and a leather bound album. And anyway, the reporter behind this, we're going to find out something about. In order to do that, I rarely use the words great and journalist next to each other. But I'm going to do it today because we have an amazingly great journalist with us to begin the program today. She is, I guess, in what I would call the elite league, and I mean that sincerely, of American journalism. She has worked for Congressional Quarterly, which if you are in the business of news, you know that that's a very, very reliable, trustworthy publication. She spent 3 years with Roll Call. You've seen her work as an investigative reporter with The Hill. She's been a correspondent with the Washington Examiner, Washington Free Beacon, and is a political correspondent for Real Clear Politics. Her name is Susan Crabtree. I am delighted to have Susan Crabtree with me right now. Good afternoon, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing great. That is too kind, Bo. Too kind of you, but I appreciate it. Very big admirer of your work as well. And I think my dad would be ecstatic that I'm on with you today.
Oh, well, I'm ecstatic. Thank you so much. Susan, you did what people in the media don't often do, which is really dig for the story behind the story. And tell us what you have found out about this story in the Wall Street Journal, the reporter, and who this is and the background.
Yeah. So this reporter, one of two of them, but his name is Joe Palazzolo, and he says Wall Street Journal, illustrious career. And I was looking at it. People last night on X were congratulating him, a sort of nauseating congratulation from his colleagues at the Wall Street Journal after he published this Epstein birthday letter allegedly from Donald Trump, and didn't show many of the other letters that were in that book that you're talking about that Epstein received that day. So it's really taken out of context because this was a roast for his 50th birthday. But that particular reporter, Joe Palazzolo, it stood out to me that his bio says that he worked for Maine Justice. Maine Justice, it was the only publication he previously worked for, according to his bio. I've since learned that he worked for the Baltimore Examiner, which is a very small, defunct publication. So Maine Justice is a publication that Mary Jacoby used to run and own, and Mary Jacoby is none other than the wife of Glenn Simpson, who is the founder and CEO of Fusion GPS, which produced the Steele dossier, which we all know by now, and your viewers are well aware, was funded by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee, but passed through Perkins Coie law firm. And so I just thought that should be known. They have, this particular reporter got his start working for the wife of the guy who put out the Steele dossier that was full of lies and salacious information.
It is an amazing, you have covered politics and life in Washington, D.C., I suppose, long enough to understand that we are often surprised by the incestuous relationships. And I'm speaking that way, of course, in terms of the news that comes out, between the people behind some of these stories and the political campaigns, the opposition in this case. Hillary Clinton's fingerprints have been on behind so many of the stories, and certainly this is now being looked at. Let me ask you really quickly, Susan, what do you think the impact of this entire Epstein reemergence in the news is?
The impact of it. I think it's taking on a life of its own. It's going to be hard to get it to go away. So I am on the record saying, show not tell. They can't just say to the American people, there's nothing to see here, folks. We need some evidence to know what the situation really was and who was involved. And no, I'm on the record saying that, and I'm not, partial. I've been critical of the White House and campaign recently. I covered the Secret Service extensively, and I wrote a story earlier this week being critical of the campaign for pushing not to have the farm equipment, blocking the AGR building, and they may have had blood on their hands a little bit too for the Butler rally assassination attempt. So I'm not, your shrinking violet kind of play to one side kind of reporter. So I honestly think that the Epstein issue itself, I don't know if I trust all the information that the FBI and the DOJ was holding either. But I want to see these court documents, that the grand jury documents that are supposed to be being unsealed, or that Pam Bondi requested to be unsealed. Yeah, I think it's a huge impact, of course, in the news cycle. Is it distracting from other things? Absolutely. Do these girls deserve justice who were tortured and raped by Epstein and powerful players in America and elsewhere? Yes. So, I'm not biased in this regard.
Yeah. So you have all sorts of news stories that have been out there. Associated Press ran one earlier in the week that Trump's numbers, that he's running into problems with his base on this. And yet you have reporting to the contrary through polling that his base is not abandoning him over these stories. Do you take seriously, Susan, the notion that they're hiding something here because Trump is involved? Is this just what do you think, a wish campaign from his political opposition? Do you have any sense of that?
I don't until we get the more information out. I do think that the legacy media, including the Wall Street Journal, including these very reporters, Joe Palazzolo was the one who wrote about the hush money case and broke that story, got a Pulitzer Prize for it. But so much of the legacy media was wrong on the Russiagate story and has been wrong on so much regarding Trump. You just had Tulsi Gabbard put out, the director of national intelligence, put out a statement today saying there's going to be a criminal investigation into everybody in the Obama administration that was part and parcel of that Russia hoax story that just was so pernicious. And so, I just think that we need to go where the story, I always try to take where the story leads, and I will pull on that string and see where it leads me. But, we shouldn't be, I feel like this particular story about the Wall Street Journal saying that there was this tawdry birthday letter from Donald Trump. He's denying it. Where is the letter? That is not journalistic. Yeah, that's not normal journalistic investigative work. You would need to show the subject who supposedly wrote the letter. You would need to show it to that person. You would need to have, before I would write a story, I would include the letter. You'd have to have the exact letter. And I would talk to 15 forensic experts and, writing, professional handwriting analysis before I would go with anything like that. I just think it's a really sensational story, and it's either insane or true, but where's the context with the other people that wrote the similar body type letters to Epstein? Where's Bill Clinton's letter? Where is Bill Gates' letter? Why are we just focusing on Donald Trump's letter and taking it, if it is indeed his letter? I'm not saying it is, because we've had so much complete disinformation. Speaking of disinformation, I don't like that word, but we did, and terrible reporting, and they just took it as God's truth. This terrible Steele dossier that had all kinds of salacious information in it. And, Donald Trump had his home raided by the FBI. They were going through Melania's underwear. I mean, the things that this man went through, if that's the case, if Jack Smith, the prosecutor, and all these people that wanted to get information on Donald Trump, if they knew, if this was out there, why hasn't it come out yet? During the campaign, you think they would have sat on this? I don't know. I just am skeptical. I'm always very skeptical when a reporter provides a story that does not include the very letter that they're writing about.
And I read a report last night, and I'm still searching for accuracy on it, is that the Wall Street Journal admitted that they don't have the letter in their possession. Do you know whether that's true or not?
That's what they're saying. And to me, that's just journalistic malpractice. They reviewed the letter. Okay, what does that mean? Did somebody read it to you, or did you see it yourself? Did you have forensic experts go through it and verify it, that it is indeed Donald Trump? Because saving that, unless you have that, unless you know more information, it's just another story that could be right, it could be wrong, and I think that's not responsible journalism.
Wow. Amen to that. Susan, I want to invite you back again many times. The invitation. There are so many stories I want to talk with you about. And more importantly, I want to talk with you about journalism itself and where journalism is headed in this age where you have more citizen, and I'm saying this in air quotes, citizen journalists whose stories blow up sometimes without any without any cooperation whatsoever, where you have a very different media landscape because of the influence of social media. And of course, you are a member of the Washington journalist machine. And I just want to have you back to speak about that, what it's like living inside the Washington journalist machine. So will you come back?
Absolutely. Happy to talk about it. I think it's a lot of us don't like to consider ourselves part of the machine, but we've witnessed a lot. We know where the bodies are buried, and we know how swampy it is.
Thank you. Susan, thank you so much for joining us. James Golden, Snerdley, it is the fastest hour in American media. 1980, on this day, Billy Joel had the top position in both the album and the singles charts. It was the album Glass Houses, this single, #1. It's still rock and roll to me. James Golden, don't go away. Next segment's going to be really short, but keep it right here.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Oh, yeah. Martha Reeves has a birthday today. One of the greatest of all the Motown groups, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. So many hits from Jimmy Mack, Dancing in the Streets, Heat Wave, all of it. Martha Reeves has a birthday today. Happy birthday to the one, the only, Martha Reeves. James Golden, Snerdley. Okay, quickly, let's hear, let's go. We barely have time for this. Anyway, Brian Stelter on CNN, Cut 5, and this is about guess.
Not happening now.
Yeah.
No, this is the end of a publicly funded media era. This dates back to the days of black and white television. You know, back in the 60s, Congress saw a value for PBS and NPR, but no more. As a result of this rescission, radio and TV stations will have to lay off staffers and cut back on programming. Some smaller stations will suffer more than bigger stations, right? Popular shows like Daniel Tiger's.
Oh, no. They're going to have to compete in the marketplace without government handouts. So we got that from the rescission bill, and we have more. We are going to go on a sound bite tear when we get back. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So I'm in my beautiful city, LA, and I have friends texting me like all morning. My gardener didn't show up. My housekeeper didn't show up. My farmer's market was closed. Everyone's scared. Well, this is not going to just happen in LA. And you 1%ers that only voted for Trump because of money?
Money?
Guess what? You're going to have to do your own dishes or clean your own house or mow your own lawn and that wonderful produce, the organic produce you get for your brunches? All gone. Yeah, you're going to actually have to do some work around your house. These people are important.
They're only important to clean up for you, huh, sweetie? Oh, boy, the Democrats are mad. Second time this has happened to them. The first time, it was another Republican, Abraham Lincoln, freed them. Now, I tell you, these Democrats, how long has this been going on? Since the Confederate days is how long? Birthday today for Phil Harris with Ace. You know, this did not go to #1. But let me tell you, this song should have, to me, all the marks of a #1 song. Ace, 1974 was the year. How long has this been going on? James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. Seems forever with this Epstein story. You know, I cannot wait until I speak with Princess Diana. I am missing her so much. And Lady Benedict sent me via text a great point. Has the Wall Street Journal ever published the diary entry from Joe Biden's daughter? Now, this diary is her diary. There's no doubt about it. She admitted it's her diary. Inside that diary is an admission that she was uncomfortable taking showers with her daddy, with Joe Biden. She was weirded out, apparently, and who wouldn't be, naked in the shower with Daddy Biden. Wall Street Journal ever run that diary? Did the mainstream press ever cover that? Instead, no, what we get is this letter. And then we're going to move on from this Epstein stuff. Epstein orders release. Trump, I'm sorry, Epstein ain't ordering nothing except for some air conditioning, and he can't get it. Trump orders release of unsealed Epstein grand jury testimony. Democrats want more. I'm going to come back to that point. Chris Cizillo, who's now over at News Nation, formerly Washington Post, then formerly CNN, says the Wall Street Journal Epstein story is actually a good thing for Donald Trump. His point, reinforcing him deeper with Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, says Wall Street Journal is literally making things up about Trump's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, I got another story headlined about Scott Jennings and his tear down. Scott Jennings is brilliant. I just love watching him set the entire Abby show on fire. The clips that we get from it, I cannot watch the Abby show. But I continue to ask, why isn't it Scott Jennings' show featuring Abby once in a while, who can't stand to hear anything the guy says because it makes so much sense? Newsweek today has a story that goes on and on and on and on. Trump vows lawsuit over Epstein letter, demands grand jury files be released, live updates, on and on. The Wall Street Journal, of course, claiming Trump sent Epstein a risque birthday note, blah, blah, blah. Trump has denied the authorship, calls the letter fake. He's vowing to sue News Corp, Rupert Murdoch. In a Truth Social post, Trump said Murdoch would be compelled to testify if he sues, calls the whole outlet a pile of garbage. And, of course, Donald Trump ordered Pam Bondi to unseal grand jury transcripts if they can. On and on it goes. Those of you that listen know I really could care a lot less about this whole Epstein thing. But I do want to come back to this point about the Democrats. All of a sudden, they're on fire. Of all places, PMS DNC had on, what's his face? Yeah. And why? Let's just listen to it. Joe Scarborough, of all people, who used to be a conservative, well, claimed to be a conservative back in the 90s, back in the Gingrich days. But this is how that exchange went.
Why is this important? Because the sexual abuse of young people and children is a crisis throughout our society. There's, of course, the church scandal, or many church scandals. There's what happened at Michigan State. There's what happened at Ohio State.
Congressman, you could have gotten that from 21 to 25 when Democrats controlled the DOJ. Why? It was a crisis then. It's a crisis now. Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
So, I mean, you have to go back and look specifically at particular prosecutorial decisions and what was taking place in terms of the other cases. So, I don't know. We could try to reconstruct that record.
Stop it right there. Rewind it to the top. I just love this. Scarborough has Jimmy Raskin. Well, there was a crisis then. Why didn't you do anything about it? Let me try to think of something. And then he just starts, the words came out. But he didn't know what he was. Play it again, Sam.
Why is this important? Because the sexual abuse of young people and children is a crisis throughout our society. There's, of course, the church scandal, or many church scandals. There's what happened at Michigan State. There's what happened at Ohio State.
Congressman, you could have gotten that from 21 to 25 when Democrats controlled the DOJ. Why? It was a crisis then. It's a crisis now. Why didn't Democrats call for it from 21 to 25?
So, I mean, you have to go back and look specifically at particular prosecutorial decisions and what was taking place in terms of the other cases. So, I don't know. We could try to reconstruct.
All right, enough. Okay, one of the other great moments of television. I don't really watch this guy's show either, but this one was worth it. Cut number 11, Piers and Joy. And this thing went on and on. This interview it was a doozy. But this one segment was just wonderful. Piers Morgan with another former PMS DNC hostette, Joy Reid.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well,
you
hang
tell
on.
me.
You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue.
You're
trying to make the issue the southern border.
Joy. You've just given me... Joy.
Joy. The point is...
Joy.
Barack Obama was not dragging women and
let me finish.
nursing babies apart and taking...
Joy. You've just given me...
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me
but it's not my main issue. My main issue is that what we're seeing...
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me, I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each 2 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
Okay. And your point being,
are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
It is not deportations
Many of them were brown.
That are shocking. Wait a minute. Can I answer your question?
The majority were brown.
Oh, delicious, 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 my friends. Once again, do you love those pauses that happen when it was 3 million? Duh! What am I supposed to say? Okay, so that was Piers Morgan and Joy Reid. Let's move to the New York City elections now. Elizabeth Warren and Kathy Hochul. Let's start cut 16, Jonas, with Elizabeth Warren on this notion that Mondami wants to put in socialist grocery stores in New York, and Senator Elizabeth Warren's take on that. Go ahead.
He said, we've got a problem with entire food deserts where people can't get access to grocery stores. Said, I'd like to take a look at whether or not we can have some kind of, like we do on military bases, you have some kind of support from the city government that says we're going to get some food grocery stores in areas that right now are food deserts. And by the way, it's a new and fresh plan for New York City, but it's been tried in other cities around the country and has had some real successes. So what I hear Mamdani saying is, I want to try things to make it work for working families. And you know what? This is how democracy works. A lot of people in New York City said, that sounds good to me. I'd rather try that than any of the other alternatives available to me. I support that.
Yeah, now Elizabeth Warren is claiming that these socialist model grocery stores are in other cities. Name one. Name me one place where where the state government, city government has come in and started grocery stores to try to knock out private sector grocery stores. Making my guess, I'm saying maybe I will be proven wrong, but I want to see the proof of this. I searched. I couldn't find any model for city-run grocery stores that have been successful. And where else has this been tried? Meanwhile, you have the governor, who, by the way, has not endorsed this guy, Mamdani, Kathy Hochul, and she has a take on why that campaign is on fire in New York. This is New York's Governor Kathy Hochul. 17, Jonas.
I think Mamdani tapped into something that is real and visceral. Like, I'm not getting ahead. I'm working hard. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm not living the American dream, and everything is so expensive. So I am aligned with the issue of raising, people's living income, making sure that people have houses. That's the most expensive cost for any family, is their rent bill and the utility bills associated with that. So I'm aggressively trying to build more housing. I want partners who will do that with me and break down all the barriers of people who just say, not in my backyard. I'm sorry. You want to live in a big city? There are going to be people in your backyard. And we have to be more expansive in this. And what I've done is put $5,000 back in families' pockets with my budget. So trying to offset some of this feeling of anxiety that people aren't listening to me. So we're doing what we can. But then again, we have to deal with everything going up because of the tariffs. I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, we have inflation that drove up the cost of everything. Families can't get their head above water. And now we have the Trump tariff taxes, raising the cost of everything. A pair of sneakers for a child this fall, their mom's going to have to pony up more than 44% more than last year to buy a pair of sneakers. This is hard on families. So I'm focused on this. Affordability is not something that I just woke up to. It is something I've been fighting for years. And we're making a real difference for people, but they just feel like they're not getting ahead. And I understand that.
Well, first of all, this insane notion of Kathy Hochul blaming the inaffordability of living on tariffs. How long has Donald Trump been in office? How long have these tariffs been going? New York has been unaffordable for a lot of New York residents for decades. And why is it unaffordable? It is unaffordable because of the billions of dollars that Democrats like Kathy Hochul spend on non-citizens is one reason. It is not affordable for some people because it is an unsafe place to live. When somewhere is unsafe to live, the insurance to just run a business dealing with the crime issues are horrific. And you can go through the biggest reason of all, the high taxes and wasteful spending of Democrats in New York that have been part of the New York mentality for over 100 years. So give me a break. Everything Democrats do, Harry, whether it's with Kathy Hochul, whether it's point the finger elsewhere, ignore how your own policies have caused devastation, economic devastation, and in some case, physical devastation, ever since Democrats took over the leadership in these cities, whether it's New York, whether it's L.A., wherever it is. You look at almost every major blue city in America, and what do you see? Disaster. And that is not the fault of tariffs. James Golden, Snerdley, we'll be coming back and try to wrap things up on this, the fastest hour in American media. Who we got, Jonas?
The one and only Willie Nelson.
Oh, my goodness. 1982 was the year. This, number one on the country album charts, but it's a standard all across the spectrum of music. You are always on my mind. James Golden is Snerdley with you. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It could hold middle-class violent prisoners. It could hold illegal aliens. It could hold anything. This is a terrific facility, needs a lot of work, but no one has been known to escape from Alcatraz and survive.
Really? We know 3 people escaped. We don't know if they survived or not. But that was Pam Bondi. She toured Alcatraz yesterday. and you think liberals are upset with alligator Alcatraz, if they can bring West Coast Alcatraz back, along with alligator Alc, oh my. Heavenly birthday today, Screaming Jay Hawkins. Born 1929, married 9 times, fathered over 30 children. Temporarily blinded by one of his flaming props on stage in 1976. But this one from 1956 covered by so many artists. Yes, my friends, James Golden and Snerdley with us. We have so much to discuss tomorrow. I hope you're here with us. Princess Di will be in the house. Looking forward to catching up with her. And, of course, America's Small Caffeinated Mom, Rhonda Schrock, and Lizzie. I cannot wait to get... Princess Di, just be ready. I know that this Epstein story is not, like, high on your list of really important stories, but I have to have your take on this whole thing, partially because I'm so fed up with it. I mean, how many times do we have to go through these these news stories where they're trying to pin something on Donald Trump? It's not a real story, when, in fact, so many things are happening that are so consequential, including, by the way, this rescission bill. How many years and decades have conservatives in America been complaining, gnashing their teeth, whining about PBS and NPR? Here we are. And it's gone, at least temporarily. And what are we talking about? Epstein. Anyway, we got to go. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, my friends, your families, and your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, we are back in the morning, and I cannot wait. In the meantime, my friends, I bid you adieu. Have a great evening. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?